Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004, headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. Come out and see James, Colby, or Carl, or you can just give them a call at 334-864-9842. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local. State Farm agent Mike Spears is your local and trusted insurance agent. Contact Mike Spears at 334-864-8772 for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. You can also stop by Mike's office and see him at 401 South Lafayette Street, Lafayette, Alabama, on the 4-lane. State Farm agent Mike Spear, proud supporter of Rebel Athletics. Go Rebels! Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels!
Hey Rebel fans, it's Pastor Dave here at Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. Our church is celebrating its 100th anniversary, and we've been so blessed to be here and be a part of ministry in this community for a whole century. And we're looking forward to the next 100 years of gospel ministry here in our city and in our area. And we invite you to come and be a part of experiencing the faithfulness of our God as it extends to you and your family. Come and join us.
Newman's Farm Supply, located downtown on the square in Lafayette. Contact them at 334-864-7006. Family owned and operated since 2011, Newman's carries feed for all of your animals, Tucker Milling, Sports Mix, Value Pack, along with deer feed, corn, hay rolls, alfalfa bales, pine and wheat straw. Newman's is also an FFL dealer. Newman's also reminds everyone to get their CA gun raffle tickets. Raffle starts November 1st. The Pig, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. The Pig, the best meats in town, beef, chicken, and pork. The Pig, the freshest breads and dairy and produce across Chambers County. Down home, down the street. The Pig, where customer service is #1. Piggly Wiggly, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. Proud supporters of your Chambers Academy Rebels. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Need a tow? Need some mechanical work? Contact Lee and Sandy Daniel at 334-863-4252. Serving East Alabama and West Georgia. You call, we haul. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Proud supporters of Rebel Athletics, DTA Towing. Mr. Diesel Truck and Trailer Repair and Mobile Welding is a family-owned and operated business with 19 years of hands-on experience. We thrive on pleasing our customers with great prices, quality work, and a personal experience. We offer 24/7 roadside service for semi-tractor trailers, as well as on-site service repairs for heavy equipment. We also offer mobile welding. Contact us at 334-476-0393. The Chambers Academy Booster Club would like to thank the following people for donating guns: Dodge and Logan, Chambers Ledger, Crane Septic System, Daniel Lawn Care, Newman Farm Supply, Harmon Insurance, Jack T. Langley Wood Company, Quality First Drywall, Mr. Ice, Monkus Lawn Care, King Chevrolet, Diversified Mortgage, Sanders Logging, Brian's Transmission, Mitchum Auto, King Ford, Kenny Knox, Valley Collision, Allen Scrap, Teague Incorporated, Lafayette True Value, Alabama Georgia Wood, Keith Transmission, and Four Seasons Heating and Air.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farmer specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farmer specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. The Chambers Academy Booster Club would like to thank the following people for donating guns: Dodge and Logan, Chambers Ledger, Crane Septic System, Daniel Lawn Care, Newman Farm Supply, Harmon Insurance, Jack T. Langley Wood Company, Quality First Drywall, Mr. Ice, Monkus Lawn Care, King Chevrolet, Diversified Mortgage, Sanders Logging, Brian's Transmission, Mitchum Auto, King Ford, Kenny Knox, Valley Collision, Allen Scrap, Teague Incorporated, Lafayette True Value, Alabama Georgia Wood, Keith Transmission, and Four Seasons Heating and Air. Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004, headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. Come out and see James, Colby, or John Carl, or you can just give them a call at 334-864-9842. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local. State Farm agent Mike Spears is your local and trusted insurance agent. Contact Mike Spears at 334-864-8772 for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. You can also stop by Mike's office and see him at 401 South Lafayette Street, Lafayette, Alabama, on the 4-lane. State Farm agent Mike Spear, proud supporter of Rebel Athletics. Go Rebels! Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels!
Hey, Rebel fans, it's Pastor Dave here at Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. Our church is celebrating its 100th anniversary, and we've been so blessed to be here and be a part of ministry in this community for a whole century. And we're looking forward to the next 100 years of gospel ministry here in our city and in our area. And we invite you to come and be a part of experiencing the faithfulness of our God as it extends to you and your family. Come and join us.
Newman's Farm Supply, located downtown on the square in Lafayette. Contact them at 334-864-7006. Family owned and operated since 2011, Newman's carries feed for all of your animals: Tucker Milling, Sports Mix, Value Pack, along with deer feed, corn, hay rolls, alfalfa bales, pine and wheat straw. Newman's is also an FFL dealer. Newman's also reminds everyone to get their CA gun raffle tickets. Raffle starts November 1st. The Pig, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. The Pig, the best meats in town: beef, chicken, and pork. The Pig, the freshest breads and dairy and produce across Chambers County. Down home, down the street. The Pig, where customer service is number one. Piggly Wiggly, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. Proud supporters of your Chambers Academy Rebels. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Need a tow? Need some mechanical work? Contact Lee and Sandy Daniel at 334-863-4252. serving East Alabama and West Georgia. You call, we haul. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Proud supporters of Rebel Athletics, DTA Towing. Mr. Diesel Truck and Trailer Repair and Mobile Welding is a family-owned and operated business with 19 years of hands-on experience. We thrive on pleasing our customers with great prices, quality work, and a personal experience. We offer 24/7 roadside service for semi-tractor trailers, as well as on-site service repairs for heavy equipment. We also offer mobile welding. Contact us at 334-476-0393.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with Coach Jason Allen. We are sponsored by Farmers and Merchants Bank, and we certainly appreciate their sponsorship and support. And once again, we're here at Monte Alban 3 on the north side of Lafayette with our hosts, Luis and Roxana. We certainly appreciate them. And I'm here with my partner, Chester Carter.
Sid, what's going on? Yeah, it's great to be back here at Monte Alban again for another coaches show here on Thursday nights. Getting ready to jump into the playoff season. We just finished up the regular season last Friday night in a incredible way, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. But yeah, it's great to be back at Monte Alban. And just a little update so everybody knows, next week, if we run into the playoffs, we're going to be doing the show on Tuesday nights because the games following will be on a Thursday night schedule. So
if we make it through both rounds, we'll do coaches shows on the following two Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Just going to move it over to Tuesday so we can get it in and recognize everybody.
And we'll try to make sure we do a lot of Facebook posting, let everybody know that. So just want to give you a quick review. We always try to do this, let you know what we're going to do tonight. And it's going to be our regular show. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about what went on last week. We're going to try to dig into a few of the stats from the game. An incredible game. It was just kind of out of sight for me. It was just a really incredible experience. I was very happy to be a part of it. We'll talk to Coach Kyle, we'll talk to Coach Dillon, and we'll talk to Coach Allen. Spend a few moments with each one of them, and we're going to try to celebrate Glenwood just one last time briefly, but move on to the playoffs because we are past Glenwood, and it is time to get ready to play Escambia. There's no doubt about that.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We want to recognize everything that happened in that big Glenwood matchup. I know the kids and the fans are still riding a big wave of emotion, and but we got to buckle down and get ready for tomorrow night. First round of playoff start, Torbert Allen Field, 7 o'clock. The guys and gals from Escambia will be heading up here. Long drive for them. But hey, that's the importance of having that home field advantage. We got the same thing going on tonight. There's actually a first round game with Hooper and Patrician, and Hooper's having to take a 2.5-hour trek over to Patrician in Butler, Alabama tonight just for their playoff game. So that shows the importance of having that home field advantage.
Well, it's November football, and you talk about Coach Kyle was telling us a while back, and we'll get into more of this. It's different. A 5-5 team, a 5-5 team, and a 4-6 team can be very dangerous in the playoffs. So we're going to get ourselves ready. And we'll talk to the coaches about the practice this week and how they've gotten the team prepared, and see how the seniors measure the attitude of their teammates and get things going a little bit better too. We'll also talk more before this segment ends about our offensive and defensive players of the game. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. And then we'll reveal our impact players. Again, this week we have 2 impact players of the game. So it'll be really exciting to get into that. And one thing, just briefly before we go away, and I know you've got one spot you want to talk about before we go. I just want everybody to know that when we announce these players, it is incredibly difficult with this team. And I find the impact player almost more difficult because you and I talked earlier about you could go down the starting offense and the starting defense, not even the starters, the people who played a majority of the time, and you could find an impact play from everyone on that team, something that was very important. And it was incredibly difficult to come up with these guys, but I think in our minds we agreed, and there were a couple guys who really stood out.
Yeah, this week was very tough. I mean, this game was so close Friday night. It was less than a yard settled this game. If we go back and look at everything, what happened on the goal line and then the goal line stand on defense, just an amazing football game on Friday night, and it was great, like you said, to be a part of that. So, but we're going to dive into that here in the next segment there. But, hey, we got to remind folks, like you said, it is November.
Right.
And something special that happens in November is the 30 for 30 gun tickets. They happen here at Chambers Academy, so we want to make sure that everyone gets out and get their tickets. They can go to Newman's Feed and Seed down in town, or they can stop by the school and get those tickets. You can buy tickets all the way up through the last drawing. So we're having one drawing a day. So 30 for 30 in November is always big here at Chambers, and we appreciate the support for that.
And just so you know, I was not called either of the first 2 days.
Yeah, neither was I.
Just as a point of fact.
Yeah, but hey, get out and get your tickets so you can get a better chance of winning the guns here for the 30 for 30. So we're going to take a quick break, come back in here and jump into segment 1 here and go over some stats and everything. We'll be back in a second and a word from our sponsors.
Thanks, Chad.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Monument number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm special, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Monument number 3.
Folks, welcome back here to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with Jason Allen. We're coming to you from Monte Alban here again. Every Thursday night we do this. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about some stats and some of the action that happened in that game on Friday night with Glenwood. The Rebels came out, and the intensity in the first quarter was amazing. If you were there at the stadium, it was just something that I haven't seen here, at this stadium in a long time. So when we go through the first quarter, was an amazing quarter with the offense and defense. The defense shut down the Gators' offense completely in the first quarter, maybe 1 or 2 first downs at best, and they didn't get their first down until late in the first quarter, after the 4-minute mark. So it was an amazing job on the defense, holding them to nothing, keeping them playing behind the chains, and it was incredible to watch how they shut down that high, potent Gator offense.
Well, if you look back on that, and I know you and I both have looked at the film quite a bit, and if you look at their quarterback, his name's Dallas Crow, the young man was a fine athlete, did a really nice job. They came out with a couple of real big receivers. They had some pretty big guys up front. And I think the key word you mentioned there, Chester, was intensity, because we played with great pressure and intensity and that typical furious onslaught by the defense. I mean, every time a Glenwood back touched the ball, there were 5-6 guys around him. It was hard to call all the plays because you had to really wait until the last guy was getting up, and you might miss someone. So it was a spectacle for me. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that you see, and you're just very happy to be a part of it because it was out. And I'm telling you, no matter how that game would have gone, it was still a spectacular game. And I do want to mention this. Several times as I watched their replay of the game, just for my own benefit, they mentioned our crowd probably 10 times, how insane the crowd was. And they also mentioned it was a key timeout to take the crowd out of it. And the guy, one of their announcers says, and the crowd comes back stronger than ever after the timeout. So our crowd was on it, and they stayed through everything.
Yeah, the Rebel fan base is incredible. So as the defense stepped up to start the offense, actually, Aiden Anglin had a huge interception that led to a very short field for the Rebels to get their first TD in the first quarter. Kyle Hand, I swear I thought he had an interception there in the first, but the officials saw it different than I did. Yeah. But they said it hit the ground, but we can look at that replay all day long.
We need to talk to Kyle himself maybe after this tonight, just get his opinion on it.
Yeah, and in the offense, I felt the offense did a great job of controlling the time of possession, and every time the Gators had a miscue, we capitalized on it.
Well, when we talk about the players and how hard it is to pick things, you go back and you mentioned Eli had a huge run on a third down. Jacob had a huge run on a 3rd and like 6, hitting the backfield 2 yards deep, picks up the first down. Play after play after play after play where guys were making great athletic plays on offense and on defense. And to me, it was an absolute slugfest, from start to finish. And there was a lot of contact and a lot of hitting. And, the game got a little chippy, but I didn't think it was out of hand at any point. A couple of players were a little bit more vocal than others, but one thing that I'm always proud of is none of that bothers this team. It seems like our guys are very well disciplined, and they understand that that's not their game. They don't care about that. They just want to play their game. So really, really excited about how strong the team played. I think we had 1 turnover, which was a critical turnover, and you mentioned earlier about how really less than a yard. I mean, on one end of the field was less than a yard, on the other end of the field was less than a yard. So 2 critical moves, and we really came out with a huge win over Glenwood.
Yeah, the defense stayed strong there in the second quarter as well. Aiden came up with another interception in the end zone. We thought the Gators driving down the field, getting ready to score. He just took that one out of the end zone. And, even he kept us cool, too, you were talking about, because after that interception, the receiver threw him to the ground and got a penalty for unsportsmanlike.
Personal foul on that play. And, there were a couple other plays against their tall receiver, just went up and made a good defensive play. So a lot of good plays all across the board.
Yeah. So on the offense side of the ball for the Rebels, they put up 429 yards of total offense. On passing, they had 102 yards. Cole Baker had 9 for 13, 102 yards. Rushing, Luke Tarver, 23 carries, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's over 11 yards a carry, and he had 1 2-point conversion as well. Jacob Norgard came in a little banged up and on that ankle he had there, but still came down with 69 yards, 1 TD on 13 carries. The receiving, good balance across the offense here too as well, spreading it out to the receivers. Kareem Henry's had 6 catches, 40 yards. Tyson Hewitt had that one big 45-yard catch on 3rd down. I mean, the place went crazy when he caught that.
Did Tyson have a catch? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
He had that catch?
Yeah.
I think that's when I screamed so loud I thought my head was going to explode because that was pretty exciting. That was an amazing catch.
Yeah, and then
a really nice job.
And Eli had 1 catch for 16 yards, but the timeliness of these catches and these plays were amazing. That was on a 3rd down in the first quarter, which helped to keep the drive alive for the Rebels. And then Landon had 1 catch for 8 yards.
That's true.
So right now, as we go into the playoffs, the Rebels are 9-1 overall, 4-0 in the region. Again, the 8th consecutive region title.
Right.
Offense is averaging 42 points a game, and the defense is only allowing 8.9 points a game.
Right.
That is an amazing stat right there. On the season, the running backs, some all-star numbers here.
These are crazy.
Yeah, Luke Tarver, 105 carries, 1,324 yards with 20 touchdowns. Jacob Norgard, 76 carries, 814 yards with 14 touchdowns.
And if you think about that, 814 yards and a lot of time missed. Luke at that 1,300 number, not playing second halves on multiple ball games.
And missing a game.
And missing a game. It's a testament to how well this team plays together. Because I'll tell you this, neither one of those guys get those yards without great upfront blocking.
Yeah.
This offensive line, people say the offensive line doesn't get credit enough. Well, I'll tell you, they're going to get credit for us because we watch them and they do an outstanding job. They know what to do on every play. They're very well disciplined, and they will take people to the ground. They will just block you for the rest of the night.
Yeah, there's one I keep thinking over. Ryan Ford came off the left side and somehow got out in front of Jacob, going down the right side, and I don't even know how he got out there that quickly, but he cleared a couple people out of the way for Jacob, and it was an amazing block.
Well, there's another long run that Jacob and Drew became one person. I mean, Drew's again out front leading that. They ran together in a very long run. So, and we did have a couple plays called back that were long runs too. I think Jacob had one of those, and I believe Luke as well. So. It was a very powerful offensive night. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So hey, that's last Friday. We got to look ahead and see what's on the docket this Friday. And Dave's going to show us the AA playoff brackets, and that'll show that the Rebels are playing at home tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Torbert Allen Field. We're going to welcome Escambia up from at Moore. And this also shows, what else is going on in the region. Tonight, Patrician is playing, Hooper is playing at Patrician, and that's tonight. And we'll know tomorrow who's going to be in the second round. So we've checked that out. Scambia, they're coming in with a 3-7 overall record, fourth place in the West, 1-3 in the region. Their offense is putting up about 28 points a game, and their defense is giving up 34 points a game. Some of the common opponents that we've had so far this season, the Scambia has lost to Banks in that game up in Birmingham that a lot of folks watched. There was some activity after the game. They lost 60-38 in that game, but then they won against Hooper 32-12.
Right.
So those are the two common opponents that we've looked at, and they're coming into this playoff on a 3-game losing skid. So we've talked about this before, how some of these 4 seeds can be very dangerous.
Well, if you think about it, we look at the games, and like these numbers are on paper. They look like, boy, this is going to be a mismatch. I mean, there's no way these guys can hang with a team that just beat the number 1 team in the state. Well, that's not where the game is played. The game is not played on paper. The game is going to be played on Torbert Allen Field. And I'll tell you, Coach Jackson said to us a while back, it's very dangerous to play a team like that. They can lay it out there. They've got nothing to lose. There's no expectations. And teams play better, and they play different in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
It's that November football that you better be ready to play.
Yep. So, that is where we're going to roll into stating over our offensive and defensive players of the game.
Okay, sorry, let's get to that right now. Our defensive player of the game last week was Kyle Hand, if you all remember us interviewing Kyle at the end of the game. Outstanding play on the goal line, outstanding play in the secondary. The controversial interception conversation we'll have with Kyle. For the record, it didn't count, but we'll get his opinion on how that one went. Just played outstanding all night long. And then our offensive player of the game, Luke Tarver, man, you have a 258-yard night and light him up like that and play hard. It's just he was just outstanding. And not the only outstanding offensive player, one of many outstanding offensive player, but those numbers, we decided to make Luke our offensive player of the game. And as we have become more focused on doing this earlier, we're going to go ahead and announce our impact players of the game right now. So the impact players of the game, there's 2 players this week from last week's big win over Glenwood. Our first impact player is Aiden Anglin. Aiden had 2 interceptions and played fantastic all night long. So, Aiden, congratulations. We thought you did an outstanding job there. Our second player of the impact player of the game is Tyson Hewitt. Tyson had an incredibly big catch, and you and I talked about that. From the time that third down catch was made, it burned 3 minutes off the clock late in the game, and it was outstanding. Everybody had great effort, but we went back and kind of looked at those 2 big contributions from these guys and named them impact players of the game.
Yeah, both of them had a great game. Everybody had a great game out there and made a lot of contributions in this win against Glenwood. So it is a tough thing to call. Wish we could say everybody out there, but those 2 right there stuck in our minds so much to swing the game, especially that one Tyson's catch there. And I mean, think about what Aiden did too. I mean,
all night it was just over and over.
It was just a great thing to watch. So it was tough again to call those, but hey, there's an opportunity tomorrow night to get into that section right there. So. We got a great crowd again. I think you were mentioning the crowd from the other broadcast. It never fails coming up here to Monte Alvin on Thursday nights. Great crowd. Appreciate the athletes coming out.
Always.
They're always a great time to have here. It's, talk to them and see how they're doing and get the kind of temperature of what they're feeling as a team.
Well, it's always great to have our players here, our fans here, and our coaches who, take their time on this Thursday night to come up and spend time with us and help us get this show out there. We really appreciate that very much.
Yeah. And again, we want to thank all of our sponsors again, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Monte Alvin, Taffney Nelson. She does a spectacular job capturing all of these moments for us. She does the game day posters every week for every sport, not just football. And she's always around campus taking pictures of activity and capturing those moments that, we can have memories forever with. And then we also want to thank the 2-3 Collective. They do a wonderful job getting us they got pom-poms last week for first 100 fans in the game. We appreciate that. This backdrop here, the the shirts we're wearing. They do such a wonderful job. We want to thank those guys at 2-3 Collective.
We have great sponsors. I mean, I know you'll agree with that. They're the backbone of what we do here. And, you know, not only the sponsors, but everybody comes out and volunteers and does great work. There was a lot of work going on last week because I guess 1,000 people on the campus last week.
Oh, yeah, easy, yeah. So, but, hey, we're going to take a short break right here, and when we come back, we're going to bring up Coach Jackson, and we're going to talk a little bit about the offensive and defensive lines. So we'll be back in a minute after we hear these messages from our sponsors. The Chambers Academy Booster Club would like to thank the following people for donating guns: Dodge and Logan, Chambers Ledger, Crane Septic System, Daniel Lawn Care, Newman Farm Supply, Harmon Insurance, Jack T. Langley Wood Company, Quality First Drywall, Mr. Ice, Monkus Lawn Care, King Chevrolet, Diversified Mortgage, Sanders Logging, Brian's Transmission, Mitchum Auto, King Ford, Kenny Knox, Valley Collision, Allen Scrap, Teague Incorporated, Lafayette True Value, Alabama Georgia Wood, Keith Transmission, and Four Seasons Heating and Air.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Monema number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it. And also can meet the Chihuahua, Monema number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. All right, folks, and welcome back here to Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We got Coach Jackson up here, and we're going to get his thoughts about the Glenwood game and as well as the game coming up tomorrow night against the Scambias. Coach, thanks for coming in tonight. I know you're a busy guy, getting ready for just living and doing the work and then coming down here and coaching these boys on the line. So we kind of want to get your perspective of how you felt that the team came out and the line did, especially in the Glenwood game Friday night.
Well, you know, I mean, we knew it was going to be a big challenge. Those guys up front, for them, were big. You know, they probably had us outweighed a pound or two.
A little bit.
And but you know, like always, it doesn't matter with our guys who you put up there. They're going to compete. They're going to do their job, and I mean, they're going to get after you. And we're the last ones to come out pregame warm-ups. We have our own little lineman talk, and that's what I told them. I said, you know. I expect for us to go out there and do our job and do just like it don't matter who it is, you know. And I mean, I knew that's what they were going to do. That's just the kind of kids we have, and you know, won the ball game, so they did their job.
Was there anything that just surprised you so much? Was it just I was amazed at the intensity. You know, I mean, we always come out pumped up, but this was like an extra jolt of something. I don't know what it was, but it was infectious because I mean the crowd got into it, we got into it. And it was just something that we were like, what's going on here?
Well, you know, and I had kind of been trying to prepare the kids through the week, and not just the line, all the kids. You know, you could just tell there was something about this ball game. You knew everybody knew it was a big ball game, number 1 coming to our place. So, you know, it was a playoff type atmosphere, even though it really wasn't playoffs. You know, it was a little extra.
Yeah.
You know, and you tell the kids, you know, we're not looking forward just with the experience that we've had. Making deep runs in the playoffs and state championship games. You know, it was that kind of feel as far as the kids were probably playing over their head a little bit. You know, they always go full speed, but there's another full speed.
Yes.
And that's why you've seen, you know, some of the things we had as far as, you know, had some guys that maybe had a few cramps or stuff during the game. You know, they're not because they're not in shape. It's just because they were all taking it to another level.
Exactly. Well, from a fan standpoint and, you know, watching the game, you guys came out, looked like everything was prepared. You guys as a coaching staff, I mean, good execution around everything. So congratulations on that big win. So we'll start worrying about tomorrow night.
That's right.
Well, Coach, I would certainly second everything you guys are talking about there. Do you think the kids, do our players think about last year's loss to Glenwood? Does that cross their mind, or is that just a totally different team and not on their mind?
You know, I mean, I think it was on their mind. I mean, you can't, you know, you're not going to forget about something. I don't think they, you know, I don't know if they actually had a star beside that one on the schedule all year or whatever. But, you know, when you get into prep and you watch, you know, some of that film from last year and that kind of thing, I mean, it was in the back of their mind. I feel like it was ours.
I always wonder about that because, you know, fans, it is in fans' mind. I mean, fans always have that last year, and is it a revenge game? Is it a trap game? What kind of game it is? And I always wonder just about players and how they look at it. And honestly, I don't remember those kind of things from playing. And, you know, we do have great rivals. And what I thought was really interesting, you know, this could be the last time we play Glenwood in the AISA. It could be the last game, and it was a heck of a way to send that game out for the last one. Overall, just anything on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the line that you were surprised by on our side of the ball? Did we do anything that you were surprised positively or negatively by?
Well, I wouldn't say I was surprised. I mean, you know, you always have that anticipation, you know, how are we going to execute? You know, when you're playing a really good opponent, you know, we kind of had, you know, the middle of the season, I would say most every game is, you know, it's been well in hand by halftime, I'd say. So, you know, this was going into this, you knew kids were going to have to compete for the whole ball game, all 4 quarters, and you knew the opponent, they were going to be well coached. They were good athletes, you know, and you just wanted to see how the kids were going to respond. And I was very well pleased with how our kids responded and competed the entire game, you know, and bowed their back when they needed to, that type of thing. So it wasn't surprised. I know our kids, that's what they're going to do. But it was welcome sight to see that.
I think it's confirming. It would be very confirming to me, like when you come out and we both thought the first quarter was just a tone setter. I mean, it wasn't dominant, but from an intensity standpoint and execution standpoint, I just thought we played incredibly well in that first quarter and kind of set the tone for what was going to be coming.
That's right. And, you know, going back watching the film from last week, you know, did we play perfect? No, we didn't play perfect. But there was, you know, every play, everybody was doing their job.
Right.
You know, and you got to give them credit, you know, those football players over there, too. Somebody's, you know, they were trying to make a tackle. They were trying to block, too, you know. So, you know, it was just a good hard-fought football game.
One of the other things that I think back as I watched this game, I'm not sure that I've seen a game that we have played since I've been doing this with Chet and David. I don't remember a game where we converted that number as we did right out of third downs. I mean, we had just in range on third downs all night.
Yeah, you know, that's, third down instead of second down, and then you go ahead and drop off the ball. And that's stat line you look at to see, when you're successful or not. And I don't really know stat line as far as the yard distance and all that, but coach makes some great calls and I don't think our kids get worried when we start down. It's just us playing touchdown.
I mean, we kind of have that mentality. It's like, you're always looking for a short. You don't want to be 30, you ain't 38. Much rather be 33. But there is no sense that we can't do this.
I think back to Eli's catch. I think back to a couple of runs, or multiple runs by Luke on third down, and just. To me, it's like the consistency of our offensive line to make those opportunities for skilled players to execute. We're just there all night long and just kept. It really just did not drop off to me at all.
No, it didn't drop off through the whole game. And we had some guys come in off the sideline, filling some spots where we had some pick up guys and stuff. And and it was some of it was in key situations. I mean, the whole game was a key situation. So, I was really proud of those guys and the way they played. It was, no drop off.
What was the vibe on our sideline and with coaches or whatever when we had the turnover down at the 5-6 inch yard line?
I mean, that was disappointing. I won't
sugarcoat
it. It was disappointing because we felt like we'd already we'd already scored on that drive, I believe, and had to call back.
Right.
And
that is true.
And then we drive right back down there. All this, in my mind, and everybody just thinking, oh, we just took some more time off the clock, going to punch it in. This thing's done, and then that happens. But the defense has played well all year.
Absolutely.
So I'm, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, we're going to go ahead and get a stop. That's what, that's what we do.
I think that, to my mind, that's the only snap that got away from us. I can't remember one of that. And it was kind of one of those strange football moments. You're so consistent all year long, and gosh, I mean, we're a length of the football away from scoring again, and just got away from us. But again, even with that mistake or that turnover, our guys just said, okay, now we'll go play defense.
That's right.
And they did. It was an awesome, to me, it was an awesome display of the standards that this team and this staff has, and our players responding to them. They just played.
That's right.
And they did their job.
That's right. And they get after it. It doesn't matter the circumstance. You got to play the next play, play the next snap.
So as we get ready for tomorrow night against Escambia, what is some of the things that you're going to have to work on with them? I mean, I watched a little bit of what they do. They, big wide receivers, like an athletic quarterback. I really didn't see a lot about their defense. You've probably scoped that out quite a bit. How do they stack up?
It's game plan's not going to change. From all season, we're going to do what we do. It doesn't matter what they're in. It doesn't matter. It's playoffs. They'll probably throw something a little bit different at us, than we've seen. But if you're a good team and a well-coached team, you are who you are at this point. So I'm not looking for anything crazy to happen. And everything in our playbook works against every defense.
Okay. So
we're going to come out and do the same things we always do.
But you're talking about the physicality of that matchup on the line. Were there any injuries that are going to roll over into this week on that line?
From the offensive line, no, we didn't have.
'Cause we saw a bunch of guys. Going down for cramping. If that's all it was, that's good.
It was all cramping. We didn't have anybody up front with an injury. We did have some cramps for whatever reason, but
It wasn't warm. It was a warm night. It was over like 76 when we kicked off.
And this is, I don't want to bore y'all with this, but there's a few things that can cause cramps. Lack of oxygen. Well, we either in shape or we're not. By this point, we're in shape.
Yeah.
We've been doing this long enough. We know how to get kids in shape. They're in shape. So the other one is lack of water or lack of sugar, and so we've encouraged the kids to stay hydrated more this week. But I think it gets back to they were pushing around some big guys.
Yeah, they were.
And you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
It don't matter how many times you push that sled or how long, you just got to have big guys
The
up
sled
there.
doesn't push back like those guys.
That's right.
So
It's heavy,
Yeah.
but it just goes with you.
That's right.
So it just kind of is what it is. But we have talked about that. Like I said, we don't have any really injuries up there. Just those cramps. We get that straightened out, and and maybe we as a coach staff do a little bit better job of rotating some different guys in earlier in the game so it don't stack up on us like that.
Well, it was a awesome performance. It was a joy to watch those guys, pull like they do and make those holes wide open. And, the timing of it was beautiful to watch. You didn't think there was a hole, and all of a sudden it was there. So best of luck tomorrow night. We'll be down there cheering you on. At 7 o'clock, Torbert Allen Field. Get down there to the stadium and cheer the Rebels on. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank y'all for having us.
Coach, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Folks, we're going to be right back with Coach Dillon after we hear from a few of our sponsors.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located on Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm special, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. All right, folks, and welcome back here to Monty Alba for the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We now have Coach Dillon up here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Glenwood game and how he felt everything went into place, and then look forward to tomorrow night versus Gambia. So we'll kick this off. I mean, your defense played a huge part in the game early in the first quarter. Aiden Anglin setting the tone early, giving the offense a short field. So we want to hear from you what you thought about everything is from the start of the game and through some of the big points and some things that you may think we need to work on.
I thought a huge thing was field position. That's something that, maybe not get talked about a lot, but, we were able to punt the ball a few times and, flip the field on them. Right. And when teams have to drive the ball 90 yards on us, that's a tough thing to do. But we had a great game plan as coaches. I thought the kids played fantastic. They executed. We did some things differently in the secondary that really gave them fits, I think. We weren't stagnant. The guys were moving around and communicating, and it was just a fantastic job by the guys.
It seemed like from where we were looking at, they were where they needed to be at, the positioning of them. They weren't trying to make up territory, chasing someone. They were somehow right there where they were supposed to be. I mean, Aiden, the interception in the end zone, it looked like he was throwing it to him instead of the receiver. And I don't know, if the receiver just went out and he should have went in, but some of those, was just too easy.
Yeah, that was a great play on that play in general. It wasn't. They were trying to throw it to the receiver, not even Aiden's receiver. Aiden came off of his receiver and made that interception, and that's something that he wasn't able to do last year. And but he's worked hard at it, and he understands our system a little bit better. And it was a great play. I was proud of him.
Yeah,
because he works hard. He works hard. He shows up every day and works hard.
Yeah, it was great to see those guys get out there and perform out there on the field in such a high-pressure situation.
Yeah.
And they seem like they've been doing it for years. Just like veterans out there. And, it's like, wow, just the composure they had out there was pretty awesome to watch.
Well, every year the kids understand our system just a little bit better. And, they have been doing it for years. They've been doing it since they were in 7th grade. So, that just goes back to, Coach Allen has talked about it several times that we have a really good thing going here. And, last week was a big game, but we played a lot of big games before.
Yeah.
I mean, our kids expected to win. It's as simple as that.
Coach, I want to go back to a couple things. When we're watching the game, live and going back and look at the tape, there's a couple plays that just stick out in my mind. Glenwood broke a play on us. It was going toward the right-hand side of the press box end zone. I don't know what direction it is. And, their guy got loose and was running free down to about the 20. And Austin came from the defensive line and ran him down about 20 yards downfield. And it was like there was no quit. Things like that really stick in my mind when you see he was in that play until the end. And there are multiple examples of guys coming up and making key stops. We expect that gang tackling, but there were plays and multiple big plays where a guy got one-on-one and did a really great job.
Yeah, well, I don't question Brooks at all. He is a fighter. He's not going to quit. And, if it comes up to a defensive lineman making a game, a saving tackle like that, that's huge. On the one play, on the game or the go-ahead drive, Kareem came off his guy and made that tackle right there at about it's about the 20-yard line. And that's stuff like that. That's those.
Yeah, Kareem had an outstanding game. He was in the secondary breaking up balls everywhere. There's a couple on the far side in front of the field house. I thought, ooh, this is not good. He came out of nowhere and somehow came in between the receiver and the ball. No contact, turned to right, good positioning.
Yeah.
And it was great to see that, him out there on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I thought the secondary in general played fantastic.
Well, the secondary did a great job in my mind of coming up and making really great, strong tackles. Those are very athletic quarterback.
Oh yeah, if you're going to play secondary for us, you're going to. It's not just a cover guy.
You're not going to get away from the hitting. Right?
Absolutely not. You got to be able to tackle somebody.
Well, we talked about big plays, and Chet and I were talking earlier in the segment about how hard it is to pick impact players.
Yeah.
You go down everybody who played, not even starters, just go down to everybody who's on the field. We had Gabe come in and make big plays. I mean, a pressure situation.
Landon made some
Landon
huge
made
plays.
Big plays. We had a big play attached to basically everybody's name who is on the field.
Yeah.
And I think what that does, it just tells me that this team is incredibly focused. They have great discipline, and they are honestly just well coached. I mean, you guys are getting these guys ready to play in these big situations, because I don't think number 1 and number 4, Glenwood and Chambers, gets much. I don't think anything gets much bigger than that.
No, it was, but you know, it's the same kids that we've been playing, you know, when they were JV and stuff like that. And I don't want to make a bigger deal than it is. You know, it was, the guys played well. They were super focused. They wanted to win that game, and unlike the Lee Scott game, you know, we tried to force our will against Lee Scott, whereas the Glenwood game, we kind of let the game come to us, and they were really focused during practice. They had a fantastic week of practice, and then that kind of ultimately led to, you know, us coming out on top.
Well, then, you know, tomorrow we're going to match up at home in the first round of the playoffs.
Excited.
I watched a little bit of the Escambia, saw a very athletic quarterback.
Yep, absolutely.
You got a receiver who maybe pushing 7 feet.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm not too sure how tall he is, but
tall.
I saw a couple
big.
catches he's made throughout the years, which were amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about their offense you're going to have to shut down.
Yeah, they got a really good running back too.
Yeah.
They're super athletic. They'll be one of the more athletic teams we played all year. I think we're a little tougher than them up front, but our secondary is going to have to be locked in at all times. And any time, you know, a play breaks down and the quarterback's able to run, that puts an extra threat on your defense. So, we're looking forward to the challenge. We're looking forward to the challenge. That receiver that you were talking about, he's a really, really good player. He plays well on defense too. He plays both ways. He's not just kind of a tall, lanky guy. You know, he can move.
He's athletic.
Yeah, he can move.
I saw him catch one like 5 yards ahead of him.
Yeah.
Huge wingspan out there.
Well, it's a surprising 3-7 team to me.
It is.
And you know, you think about it, and I certainly don't anticipate it, and certainly don't want it to be a trap game or anything like that for us. But our guys are coming off a big win, and we're going up against a team that doesn't match up on paper. But we don't play it on paper. We play it on the field. And you know, these guys match up in my mind with their skill players a lot like Glenwood's skill players. They had a very quick quarterback, big receivers, and a tough running back. So we certainly know how to play that. It's just, have you guys done anything special to get your players away from Glenwood, the big win, and on to just play Escambia? Just think of that.
Yeah, Coach Allen does a great job keeping them focused. You know, the records are out now. You know, it's win or go home from here on out. So, you know, if this isn't important to us, then, you know, it could be a close game. You know, if we're looking ahead, or if this game doesn't matter to us because we you know, what we did last week. Them dudes at Escambia don't know who Glenwood is. You know, they're just coming out there. So it's going to be somebody's last game tomorrow.
That's right.
So,
That's exactly it. That's a very key point.
Yeah. So if you're a senior for Escambia, you're not gonna come over here just to lose.
Well, I remember the disappointment last year in the second round playoff game. It was kind of suffocating. I mean, we were very disappointed to lose a game. We thought I didn't think we played bad at all. We got behind, and we had a chance to win that second round game, and getting that close and not winning it. You know, I hope that's in everybody's mind, fans and everyone, because you just have to go play. You can't worry about any of the 9-1 games. It's the next game.
That's right.
And they would love nothing better than come up and beat us.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure everybody else in 2A would love that too.
That's right.
I think you might be right about that.
No, but we've stayed focused. The guys done a great job staying focused. You know, we have bigger plans.
Right.
You know, these kids. You know, that we got a great group of seniors that, you know, have been tremendous leaders this year. Really taken a leadership role and ran with it. I've been extremely proud of them.
Well, I would expect you to kind of count on your seniors
absolutely.
to have that message
That's
delivered.
what you have to do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got to lean on your seniors in the playoffs because this is their last go.
I got one.
Sophomores and juniors.
That's right.
They always got next year.
I got one kind of quirky question to ask you about. I've seen this in the last two games we played, not so much at Glenwood, but the two previous games. We get a big lead, and we are really putting pressure on. It seems to me that we watched Hooper and the team before the game before move their splits much narrower on the offensive line, almost touching or crossing legs. From a defensive coach's mindset, what are they trying to do there? Are they trying to slow down the pass rush?
It could be. It depends on what their blocking scheme is.
Right.
Sometimes when teams can do that when they want to run the inside zone or something like that. When teams are running gap scheme stuff, sometimes they'll get huge splits.
That's my point. You see more gaps than it's tight.
Yeah. To me, the tight splits don't bother me as much as the huge splits.
Gotcha. Well, I just wondered about that because it seemed unusual, and I didn't know what exactly the concept from an offensive standpoint would be. It seems to me that would be an advantage maybe in pass blocking, but I don't know about the run blocking, how you get that hole. You're going to have that hole closed up by yourself a little bit, but just a quirky thing that I saw in some of the film.
No.
Well, Coach, it was a great Friday night, great game plan last Friday. Hope you have a great one for tomorrow.
Yep.
We're going to get everybody down there tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Torbert Allen Field. We'll get the first round of the playoffs underway. So, Coach, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Always a pleasure. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break here and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with Coach Jason Allen.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Monema number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farmer specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it also can meet the Chihuahua, Monema number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Coach Jason Allen and Monty Alba for the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with the head coach. So, Coach, welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Sid. It's good to be here.
Coming off a big win last week against Glenwood, I'd like for us to spend a couple minutes on that, and then we'll move on to the game that's really important, and that's the next one.
That's right. That's right.
Coach, your guys, we've talked to Coach Jackson and Coach Dillon about the play, the overall play. Just give us your assessment of the game. I know we talked Friday night, and you've had some time to think about that game. Give us your overall opinion of how the game went.
Yeah, I thought our kids competed really hard. Our kids are going to play hard. But our kids always play hard. My late father-in-law, he always said that. He said, I tell you what about those Chambers kids. Them kids, they play hard every time out, and they don't ever give up. And, that's what I'm most proud of as the head man here at CA is the kind of grit that our kids have. I thought we played well. I thought we could have played better. I thought we struggled to block them at times with some things I thought we could have executed better. And, of course, we had a turnover in the first half, and then we had the turnover on the 1-yard line. That really made the game dramatic. If we score right there like we should, then I think there's a far less drama. But sometimes things like that work out for a reason. Right. And I really the way the game ended, that can really galvanize a group of young men and a team.
Absolutely can.
And for them to say, hey, we may be in that situation again, and now I know what our kids are going to do, and we may come up short, but I know our kids are not going to back down, and they're going to compete until the final horn. And we had to, even on those 3 kneel downs, we had to compete to stay out of the end zone. So, I was really, it was a great night. It was one of the, we've had some really big wins at CA. 2020, we beat a really good Pike team that was a 3A state champ. in 2019, we beat a really good Glenwood team. Tuscaloosa team coached by John Copeland that was really good. But that game goes right up there with those games.
Well, the thing that I guess we talked about, since Friday night as we had time to go back and look at the film, I was just really kind of shocked at how many big, impactful plays went on. There were third down plays on offense, on defense, where our kids executed, made a big block, made a big run, or made a big tackle. A game-saving knockdown, a touchdown-saving knockdown in the secondary. It just went on and on and on, and I think that was one of the things that kept our crowd in the game the entire night, which, by the way, was an incredible crowd.
Yeah. And what I like seeing is it wasn't the same kids over and over.
Absolutely.
We had 6 or 7 or 8 kids make really impactful plays in the game that, things could have been totally different if they hadn't made them. So, there's so many guys that just, it was just a team effort. And that's what you like to see as a head coach.
Yeah, the intensity was incredible. Just watching the kids, watching the coaching staff out there, it was awesome to see how they got amped up for that. So as we put Glenwood behind us and move into the playoffs, is it harder to get these kids worked up for an Escambia team? I know that, it's on the schedule. You got to, go through practice. So how was practice this week? Was it intense or was it just kind of laid back?
Well, as a football coach, the longer you coach, you try to treat every week the same. You try to treat every opponent the same, because if you start magnifying different games, and the kids can feel that, and they can feel my vibe, and obviously it was it didn't take much to get our kids ready to play Glenwood last week. We don't get to play those guys much, and but it's a rival for us, really. It's right down the road, and we had not been very successful against Glenwood over the history of our school.
Not at all.
But when the number one team in the state comes in, it makes your hair stand up a little and you say, hey, we got to get ready to play. That game made us better.
Yeah.
I think that game helped Glenwood. It gave them a good competition. Unfortunately, Glenwood had some kids hurt, a couple kids hurt, and we don't like to see that. I don't like to see that ever.
Absolutely.
And been thinking about those kids and praying for them, and just hope that they can get back for the rest of the playoffs. But it was just a great football game. It was a great environment. It's really neat to see that at Chambers Academy, because it hasn't always been like that. And and to see what it's grown into, to see the way our community revolves around, and just really just supports our football program tremendously. It's just a great thing to watch.
Well, one of the things I mentioned earlier, I went back and watched the Glenwood broadcast in the end of the third and the fourth quarter. I just want to get their perspective. And the thing that struck me that was in their YouTube TV group, they kept mentioning over and over the crowd. They kept saying the crowd is going crazy. This is the loudest crowd we've ever heard. And one of the guys said they had taken a strategic timeout to kind of calm the crowd down.
Yeah.
The crowd came back and he goes, they're louder than they were before the timeout. So it also struck me as certainly we were incredibly excited. Didn't make a lot of sense in the fourth quarter, but we got after it.
For that. Yeah.
I thought the crowd was really non-stop in the second half. For all through the game, but in the second half, they just got their own momentum and stayed with it.
Yeah, we haven't had an exciting football game there at CA in a while either. The games have been really lopsided, right. So that helps. It gave them something to cheer for. And but I tell you, our people are passionate about the game, and I get those comments from a lot of schools talking about our home crowd atmosphere and what it brings to the table, and I'm really proud of that.
We're going to hope to replicate that environment tomorrow night down at Tolbert Allen Field when Escambia comes up from Atmore, and we're going to try to encourage the same type of intensity that the fans were bringing on last Friday night. So is there anything as from a head coach standpoint, looking at tomorrow night against Escambia, some key players that you're going to have to keep an eye on? The quarterback, I saw him. He looked pretty athletic. You got a big wide receiver. Is there anything that kind of, let's take a little bigger look at this? Is there anything out there like that?
Yeah, they're athletic. The running back, the quarterback, and the tailback. The wide receiver, and they got a couple other wide receivers that are not bad. But but they're not bad players at all. But you kind of look at that one that's 6'7" or 6'8".
Yeah.
He kind of jumps out at you, and I think he's got some Division I interest as a receiver, and I can understand why. Yeah, we just got to play. We got to show back up and play. Interesting stat. I was head coach at Glenwood, and then I coached a year at Escambia Academy as their athletic director and defensive coordinator. So
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row we were playing schools that I coached at.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and my wife's from Atmore, so I'm very familiar with that area. It's 200 miles one way. It takes 3 hours, no matter how fast you drive. And so, those guys played us last year, and we skinned them up pretty good. Yep. So I think they're going to be coming up here with a chip on their shoulder. And their coach, he was kind of thrust into the head coaching job there last year, halfway through the season. But this is his first full season. So he's a really nice guy. And then they'll come up, and they'll be expecting to upset us because I think the West region was much deeper than our East region on our side.
Well, they're coming at 3-7, and to me, that's a 3-7 team in the playoffs with skill players. The quarterback is very good, the receiver is very good, and they got a big running back. And it's like, to me, if those guys hit us for a couple, 3 big plays, it makes the ball game really, really tough. We're going to have to come out and compete, and I believe we will.
Yeah, it can. Well, there's one simple answer to all this, Sid. Win the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And that's true in every football game. I thought we won the line of scrimmage for the most part last week, and that's why we won the football game. And so we got to come out. We got to win the line of scrimmage. And it's hard to mess up handoffs and running the ball as much as it is throwing the ball and catching the ball and protecting.
Yeah.
I've always felt that way. And so, so we got to come out. We got to play physical football. That's our recipe every night. We got to make sure we don't turn it over, and we got to stay away from stupid penalties. 2 turnovers, and then we had some crucial penalties Friday night against Glenwood. One time we ran to the 12-yard line, and we got called for a blindside block that brought all the way back to the negative 45.
That's right.
That's about a 40-yard penalty. We can't overcome that kind of stuff. We have to stop that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those things are really tough. I was very proud of the team to overcome them. You just don't want to be in that position. I'm sure as a coach you don't want it. You don't want your team having to face that.
No, and I thought we did a really nice job on third down, Sid. And anytime you do a good job on third down, you got a chance to play a really good game. For instance, I think it was 3rd and 6.5, 3rd and 7 on the ball to Tyson down the field. That was probably secondary. There was a secondary throw. It wasn't the primary throw. First of all, when the play call come out of my mouth, our offensive line coach, "You going to do what?" And I said, "Yeah, let's go. Let it rip." And players got to make plays. And we executed it. Cole did a great job.
Absolutely.
He threw a great ball. Tyson that was a difficult catch. And that was a huge play in the game.
It was massive.
Well, it burned 3 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that first down conversion, I went back and watched the tape and timed it from the spot of the ball after that play, and it was just about 3:10. So it was just an incredible. And Coach, we talked about the impact players, and I hardly just picked the impact players because if you went down the list of players who are on the field, not starters, just people who got on the field and played, we feel like you could just about put an impactful play by everyone's name.
Yep.
There's a 3rd and 6 run. There's a 3rd and 8 run. There's a key block. There's a chase down by a defensive tackle and a guy breaking to the end zone. I mean, over and over and over, we responded and made big plays.
Yep, that's a sign of a good football team.
It really is.
Yep.
The last thing I really wanted to talk to you about was when we get in that situation where you've got to have that stop, and that's the ball game. Are you able to think about we're going to make that stop and what you're going to call after that? Did you have that in your mind? Were you thinking that?
When they got the ball to the 12, I was thinking we've got 3 timeouts. If they score, I've got to try to figure out to have enough time to have a chance to come back. And so they make the first run they're almost to the 5-yard line.
Right.
And then the crucial play was 2nd down. The snap hit the quarterback in his left knee.
Right.
And bounced to the 12.5, and he had to get on it. And that really put them behind the 8 ball. And we held on to that timeout. And then Drew Shepard had the only sack of the night. It turned out to be a sack because the quarterback scrambled,
That's right.
but we tackled him for a 1-yard loss. And then we went ahead and used that timeout to get ourselves together and also to preserve some time on the clock in case they score. And so then the last play is kind of history, you know. And then from there, what happens. We went back through it today. We replayed that scenario with the team about how we would play that differently again. We were on the 2.5. The idea is you theoretically should be able to take 3 knees without being in the end zone if the referees give you the right spot. So we really worked on that in case it happened again. The only other thing that's running through my mind is, do we just take a safety, kick it, throw it out the back of the end zone? And we decided if we could take 3 knees, then we didn't want to take the chance of kicking to them and giving them a last play.
We
talked about
talked
safety,
about that,
yeah.
and I thought about, we've got some quick players running back and forth the end zone, or either just throwing it out of the end zone and getting it away and playing defense. But as it turns out, we just stopped them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on the third one, we didn't have room to take a knee, so we basically ran a quarterback sneak. And we worked on that today. The kids made me put in the tush push by the Eagles today, or whoever runs that. I don't watch NFL.
Well, it was just an outstanding game. I will tell you this. I've said this all year long. I think you have a special team. I think it's a special bond with these guys and your staff and yourself. But we just need to go win tomorrow night. And then we can talk about it. We can worry about it. We can plan about everything else. Let's just go play great offense, play great defense. Like you said, win the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And take care of tomorrow night.
Yep. And so going back to the start of this interview, Sid, I think the gist of what I'm getting here is, Coach, how do you avoid a letdown? Okay.
Have we been subtle enough to get that out there?
Yeah. Well, so we got a saying around CA that we've been saying for about 3 or 4 years now, that one of our players said, and they woke up. It was the day of the state championship game, and he said, Coach, every day is the Super Bowl. I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
Just treat every day in your life like it's the Super Bowl. It's the most important thing. If you wait until the day of a test and you cram, you're not going to do well. If you wait to get ready to play on a Friday, you're not going to do well. Every day leads up to you being better the next day and the next day and the next day. So that's what we try to sell to our kids, that Monday is the Super Bowl. Let's go out there and practice with enthusiasm. Let's play like we're 0-10, practice like we're 0-10. Let's get after it. And that allows you to make the next step of progress until hopefully you fulfill your potential, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I think that's exactly the right idea, and I think this group has the ability to do that from this day forward, until we run out of plays. And, we said this earlier, somebody's year is going to end tomorrow night.
Yep.
And that's always a thing that I have in my mind, like, let's be aware of our situation, and let's just go play. Let's just go play real hard and get this thing taken care of.
I've been coaching 26 years, Sid. I've only walked off the field twice in 26 years, having won my last game.
Yeah. And,
so you don't forget those other 24 times. You want to finish your season winning the last game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so I haven't forgotten last year. That kicked me in the gut.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
And so, kids know how serious I am about this week. I think we've shown it in practice. We don't give them an inch. We did delay things a little this week. Monday we didn't lift. We waited till Tuesday and Wednesday instead of Monday and Tuesday because of the physical nature of last Friday's game. But our kids are ready to play. We're playing our best football right now. We're going to go out and we're going to execute at a high level, and we're going to play good football tomorrow night. I can guarantee you that.
Well, hey, another great show down there at Torbert Allen Field, just like it was last week. So it should be a great time down there.
That's right.
Coach, like we do every Friday night that we're at home, we get to sit down together. We really do thank you for all your time, and we want to give you a chance to just give us a little bit of what you think about this program.
I think it's great to play at CNEA.
Thanks, Coach. Folks, we'll be right back.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it also can meet the Chihuahua. Moneman number 3.
All right, folks, we are back here to close this coaches show out. It's been a great crowd up here. We appreciate everybody coming out, especially all the athletes and the parents and fans. It's been a great time up here. We want to remind everybody to make sure you get your 30 for 30 tickets. Stop by Newman Farm Supply.
All right.
Pick them up down there. You can buy tickets all the way up through the end drawing 1 ticket, 1 gun a day, so 30 for 30. If you can't make it by Newman, stop by school. Down at the main office should have tickets available. So, hey, tomorrow night, let's bring the same intensity that we did last week down at Torbert Allen Field, 7 o'clock. It'll be a great time. Come out and watch the Rebels play in the first round against Escambia.
Well, I think we got the message that the tone is going to be right. We're going to be ready to play, and I would fully expect that. And look, first round of the playoffs, all you got to do is go out there and line it up and win that one.
Yep, so it'll be a good time tomorrow. Come down, hang out with us. If you can't get down to the stadium, you can always catch us here. We'll kick off 7 o'clock. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Good night, everybody.